Hi, how are you? I'm Anthony from Cypher House, and today I'm back with some more of Island's Puzzle Hunt. We've solved 5 puzzles so far in the Island Puzzle Hunt, and we are continuing to renovate our house. I'm kind of working from right to left, so I think next up we're going to try Ring Around the Rosary. Let's give it a go. Ring Around the Rosary, a familiar drum beat. Is that the Winstons? Startles you, and you drop your prayer bead loops, which each break into 2. The Winstons. Is that a band? The Winstons is a band. It's a musical group. Okay. So maybe I need a particular song. Amen, brother? That would fit well with the theme of praying, right? And it says it's a drum break, so that gives even more potential to this being related in some way. Oh no, sorry, this is the Amen break, specifically, which is from the song Amen, Brother. It sounds kind of like do-ts, do-do-do-ts, do-ts, do-do-do-ts, which just kind of sounds like a generic drum beat to me, but I guess maybe the Winstons did it first? Do-do-ta, do-do-do-do-ta. The only reason I'm thinking about this is because I'm wondering if the words that we're about to see in the puzzle in some way replicate the pattern or the beat pattern or something of this drum beat. So what else do we have here? We have a bunch of lists of words and these. Okay, let me translate all of this to sheets. Okay, so for the strings of letters, how many of these do we have? We have 34, and so I'm guessing we have 17 of these? Yeah. So we need to, in some way, pair these up. That's clued by the flavor text as each of our prayer bead loops breaks into 2. We need to pair these up in some way, and then assign them each to one of these. These appear to be ordered alphabetically, so I'm not too worried about mixing up the orders of those. So I guess I'm just going to start reading some of these. As I was just, copy-pasting and scrolling through, it looked a little bit like these could be crossword clues. A firearm act of... at or took heat, chagrin for fooling, coercion from a law. Since these are going to be loops, I believe the start and the end could be anywhere, so the first word of this clue could be Iowa for all I know. But I do think this first one is going to be opposite of control in experiment design, something like that. Me wants attribution of. What's Renpe's framework or Renpe's framework? I think it's president with the shortest term. U.S. president with the shortest term. Snoop Dogg as a preacher. You B-side of Elvis's. I wonder if there's an Elvis song that ends with you. And then it would be B-side of Elvis's something something you. Is it Stuck on You? Yes, Elvis sang Stuck on You. Okay, well that one should be easy to solve as well. So before I even continue connecting these, I'm going to find the answer to this, because maybe if I can, figure out the pattern of what these answers are going to be. I assume they're going to match these enumerations, but I assume they're also going to have some other quality to them. I'm not sure what that is. Something that the loop relates to, maybe. But if I can figure something out about that, that might help me to make some of these other pairs that might not be as easy. So Elvis's song Stuck on You had the B-side Fame and Fortune. So let me put that one in line with 437. Opposite of control in experiment design. The opposite of the control is the experimental group? Is that right? It looks like it's experimental, but I wouldn't expect experiment to be in the clue if the answer's experimental. Maybe not. It could just be this 11-letter answer, experimental. I might go with that for now, but I find this clue very weird if that's what we're doing. Looks like William Henry Harrison spent the shortest time in office. Okay, so we have 3 potential matches, 3 potential answers. Let's keep trying to match stuff. Act of hiding as when carrying a firearm. That seems right. Concealing, right? So that would be 10 letters. Original title of a hymn written by Arlington? Doesn't seem quite right. Maybe it's original title of a hymn in King James Matthew 3:4? In King James Matthew 3:4, and the same John had his raiment of camel's hair, and a leathern girdle about his loins, and his meat was locusts and wild honey. Do we have anything about loins or wild honey? Maybe it's term for clothing? Raiment? Term for clothing in Matthew 3:4? Yeah, raiment is an old word for clothing. That could be it. raiment, was shot at, or took heat, or criticism. Feels like there might be a few options for that, but I feel pretty confident, so I'm just going to put that pair somewhere up there, and I'll come back to it in a minute. Maybe traditional technique for producing the bow in a Windsor chair. Rake and splay, 4, 3, 5. Do we have that? Okay, I'm not immediately finding whatever this technique is. I feel like those could go together though, so I'm gonna also move them up here. Illegal coercion from a law enforcement officer. Entrapment? Entrapment is a practice in which a law enforcement agent or an agent of the state induces a person to commit a crime that the person would not have otherwise been likely to commit. Okay, so I think entrapment is right for this. That makes it 10 letters. So that would put it at the same position as concealing. I wonder if this could be concealment, but then that would put it in the same category as experimental. I guess I'm gonna keep going. Hopefully I get some of these like longer ones, you know, out of the way, and then we can worry about some of these one-word answers. Could it be famous movie featuring lepers? Molokai, the story of Father Damien. Molokai is also here, so maybe famous priest to Molokai lepers? Father Damien. So this one looks like it goes down here. Good. We actually placed one. Could it be U.S. Department of Energy Research Facility in Iowa? Ames Laboratory. Ames National Laboratory, possibly? We do have a 4, 8, 10. Okay, I'm gonna go with it. What's this? Yerevan or Gyumri? Yerevan's the capital of Armenia. Gyumri is a municipality in Armenia. Maybe, for example, Yerevan or Gyumri resident, and the answer is going to be Armenian. Okay, what else do we got here? What's this RenPy framework? A framework is a set of RenPy script files. Ah, RenPy is a visual novel engine. Is Godot another visual novel framework, perhaps? So it could be framework like Godot or RenPy? Yeah, Godot engine, here it is. Godot is a cross-platform, free open-source game engine. RenPy is a free software game engine. So they're both game engines? Maybe, I think attribution of chagrin for fooling me once. So it's fool me once, shame on you? Yeah, we have a 5, 2, 3 down here. I still don't know yet. These answers, I'm feeling like they gotta have like something hidden in there or something. But I'm not quite sure what that's going to be or where that is. Maybe it's movie featuring Snoop Dogg as a preacher. Urban Menace is apparently a movie that features Snoop Dogg as a preacher. Did I not search? I feel like I searched Arlington before instead of Allington. Cyril Allington wrote the hymn Good Christians All Rejoice and Sing, which was originally titled Good Christian Men Rejoice. I wonder why they changed that. Yep, that one goes here. Sweet. Get a bit wet or lower as one's spirits. Dampen? Put a dampen on one's spirits? So that means these two should, in theory, go together. The Action 52 cartridge with leading article. Title from the Action 52 cartridge? So Action 52 is an NES cartridge. So we need one of these titles from this. What could the enumeration be? 4, 5, 4, oh, maybe 310? Oh, okay, maybe it's telling us we have to add the to the beginning of a title to get 310, so we need a 10-letter game on this cartridge. Cheetah Men. Yeah, Cheetah Men's 10, so I think we're going with the Cheetah Men. Okay, so this means that of the things we have left, we need something that's 9 letters, something that's 4, 5, 4, and something that's 5, 7. Was shot at or took heat or criticism. I wonder if it's under fire? Something under fire? Came under fire? That could be it. Opposite of control in experiment design. I still feel like experiment can't be the answer if it's in the clue. I'm gonna actually move this one up because I feel like we can solve a few of our issues that way. Instead of concealing, I think we're gonna go with concealment and make this our 11-letter answer. And that would make entrapment our 10-letter answer, which I feel pretty good about. So the only things we don't know are the traditional technique for producing the bow in a Windsor chair, which could be 5, 7. And then our opposite of control in experiment design, which I'm thinking is going to be 9. So I'm just going to kind of put all those in place. We do have to figure out what the next step is, and I think even without those 2, we should have enough to figure it out. The only question is, what is it? A familiar drum beat, is that the Winstons? Startles you. And you drop your prayer bead loops, which each break into 2. We have a 4 and a 2, a 2 and a 4, a 4 and a 2, 3, and a 5. I'm wondering if, like, where and how these broke. Like, I feel like that's got to play some role, doesn't it? Okay, so what can I do with the Winston's drum beat? The Winston's drum beat is the Amen break. Maybe I need to find other songs that use the Amen break. 6 seconds that shaped 1,500 songs. So maybe there really are just a bunch of songs that have used the Amen break, and I'm supposed to relate each of these answers maybe to a song that's sampled from it. I need to find a big list of Amen break songs. Here's a list of songs that's sampled. There's 413 pages. How would I get a letter from each of these, or multiple letters? Yeah, I've tried searching for the Amen break with a bunch of these answers. Ah, wait a minute. Is Amen in each of these? Each of these has Amen being broken up by a letter, doesn't it? Okay, that's what they have in common. So this one has Amen being broke by another letter A. This one has Amen being broken by an N-E. We don't know about this one yet. This one has an I. Oh, I misspelled urban. It was urban, not urbane. That's why I got 2 letters there. Here we have a P, here we have a U. So, I don't know how we're getting this enumeration. Maybe this is giving us another clue? This is going to be something publisher, right? Antiphon? Yeah, it looks like antiphon is the only thing that set of letters could be spelling. It's an album. So who published this album, maybe? That doesn't seem right. Maybe there's a different album. Disambiguation. Antiphon is a journal for liturgical review by the Catholic University of American Press. Is that the right length? The Catholic University of American Press. That seems like it's 3, 8, 10, 2, 7. And so we need to do something with that to change it to 3 letters followed by 5 letters. Well, I'm hoping Amen is in here somewhere. Amen is right there in American. Or maybe it's abbreviated as like CUA Press. CUA Press is correct. We did it. Nice. That was a great one. I was really concerned that there was going to be some complicated extraction process, and when I just noticed that Amen was in all of our answers, it kind of fell out much quicker than I expected. I'm curious if I can find these last 2 real quick. Treatment is the most obvious. Is that really the opposite of control in experiment? Okay, yeah, the treatment group is another name for the experimental group. I feel like I've always heard it referred to as the experimental group. Should be a technique for producing the bow in a Windsor chair. Steam bending. Really enjoyed this puzzle. I think today we're going to take a look at lyrical workers. I'm hoping there's no copyrighted music. Lyrical workers. These artists all sound great if you ignore the squeaky door hinge. I'm wondering, so it mentions sound? Just because it mentions sound and door hinge, I know, is like that aha moment when somebody asks you for a word that rhymes with orange, and for a long time it was stated that nothing rhymes with orange, and then somebody came up with door hinge. Sounds really close, at least. So I'm wondering if this has to do with homophones or rhymes or something of that nature. Now, what do we have down here? We have triples of letters and then enumeration. So I'm guessing we need to reorder the triples of letters to get something of this pattern. Do we have the same number of letters? Then, of course, we have whatever this is over here. So I'm wondering if this is going to be like a line of a song, and this has to be the rhyming line of the song, and then I don't know what this number is. Can I unscramble these triples of letters to get something that has this enumeration? If the first letter is just a single word, I would assume it's got to be I. And then NK, I wouldn't assume is a good beginning for the 4-letter word. So I'm going to start by putting this over here and separating it like that. Could it be I know? Because then the next word is a single letter, so it's I know A. And then, do we think it's girl? And then the WH is the beginning of this 3-letter word, so it's probably who. I know a girl who. And then we need a 6-letter word. Thinks. That's looking okay. Thinks of ghosts. I know a girl who thinks of ghosts. Yeah, it looks like this is a line from the song She Don't Use Jelly. The very first line is, I know a girl who thinks of ghosts. And then she'll make you breakfast, she'll make you toast is the rhyme, and I thought this had to do with rhymes. But does that enumeration match 4, 8, 9 in some way? Not really. Maybe they say this line about ghosts later in the song and there's a different rhyme? No, doesn't seem like it. She don't use jelly and the flaming lips. Those aren't the right enumerations either. But toast would fit in these blanks over here, so there's a chance that that's what goes in those blanks. Okay, I'm gonna go to the next one and see if having a bit more data here helps me to figure out what might be going on. We need a 3-letter word at the beginning, which could just be she. This S probably goes at the very end of the final 8-letter word. Could be lives. She lives to something. The 6-letter word begins with A-N. Maybe lives wasn't correct. I'm not seeing anything super reasonable that could come after the AN. I'm gonna leave that part there. I'm gonna separate back out this OAN because I think I actually like this better as and she for the 3-3 that's at the end of this. If it is and she, then DF isn't a good start for the 7-letter word, so it's gotta be this DI. Oh, that would also mean that right before and is a 6-letter word that ends with O, and I think studio would look pretty good there. I'm starting to think that I might have taken a wrong turn with this one. Let me start over. I could always throw it into Nutramatic or something like that. I was just trying to see if I was able to figure it out. Okay, I think this Nutramatic search should do what I want. I'm going to be looking for that 8-letter word. Right. Okay, I need to also specify that it's 8 letters. Frescoes. Maybe it's this. I just typed in Frescoes lyrics. She lives in Westco and studies frescoes. Okay, so that's probably why I was having some trouble finding this, because I don't know what Westco is. So this is the song Step by Vampire Weekend. They rhyme frescoes with clothes. Clothes does fit in these spaces over here. I think I'm gonna try assuming that the rhyming words go in these blanks here. So this one was rhyming with ghosts, we rhymed toast. And this one rhyming with frescoes was clothes. The numbers in parentheses, I believe, are increasing from 1 to 16. So I'm pretty sure those are going to give us some letters to extract. And then maybe those will tell us what this column does. All right, I guess let's go on to this next one. All of these have mentioned she or a girl so far. This one seems to do the same. She's a rocker. That could be it. She's a rocker with a nose ring. This lyric is from the song Girl All the Bad Guys Want, and it's from Bowling for Soup. She's a rocker with a nose ring. She wears a two-way, but I'm not quite sure what that means. So ring rhymes with means, which does, again, fit in the blanks. So that theory is holding up so far. This means that the 15th letter is an E and the 9th letter is an N. I'm not sure that I really like how these letters look so far, having these two vowels at the end. All right, let's try this one. So the one at the very end is me. I think it starts with when the. Maybe it's when the ladies, keeping in with the theme of always referring to women. All. When the ladies all disowned me. The song is called Sweet Satan by Beck. When the ladies all disowned me and my lungs could scarcely breathe. 7-letter word. It doesn't work. Breathe does not fit in this final set of spaces. I didn't really expect it to. I expected these letters to give us our final answer, and the fact that we're skipping over column D made me suspicious that what we were doing was correct. I was just surprised that that worked for as many as it did. Well, I may as well decode these last three, because I don't immediately know what the next step is, and it'll just be easier if I have more data. It's going to be now she's something like that. Now she's lighten. I think it's this. He Set Her Off by Emily Ann Roberts. Now she's lighten camels and sippin' Chardonnay. Yeah, I think that's going to work. This ends in LD. 4-letter word with LD. Is it just cold? I think it's just cold. 12-letter word ending in a Y. That feels like a definite job for Nutramatic. Okay, I think I have the Nutramatic search here. Increasingly or decreasingly. Now it's either an IN or a DE. We don't have a DE, so it's got to be this IN. Good. Increasingly cold. Something, something, something. Is it she's increasingly cold? Oh, it's a 4-letter word before the S. Okay, so it's probably that's increasingly cold. Alligators, alligators. By Trophy Scars. Settle for my bed that's increasingly cold. Yeah, I don't even see a direct rhyme for this anywhere, so the rhyming idea is pretty much dead. That was also the first one that didn't directly mention a woman. No she, girl, ladies. So that idea is also nothing. Okay, I'm going to try to use Nutramatic on the 10-letter word this time. California, that seems promising. California quake? California quake couldn't move me. Maybe it's this one, it's going down. Okay, so now we need to figure out what is going on with the rest of this. I would guess the next step is to find this column, but I don't immediately know because it's so far on the other side of the page, and actually it looks like it's a line lower. So I'm not 100% sure that this top line actually goes with this. In fact, maybe they spread them so far apart that I'm supposed to assume they don't go together. Yeah, Vampire Weekend is 7-7. It definitely doesn't go there anywhere. Let's read the flavor text again. These artists all sound great, if you ignore the squeaky door hinge. So there is a bit of emphasis on the artist in particular, as well as the lyrical workers. So the songwriters? Maybe the songwriters? You Don't Use Jelly as a song by American rock band The Flaming Lips. Okay. The songwriters are Ronald Jones, Wayne Coyne, Michael Ivins, and Stephen Drozd. I wonder if some of these songs actually have like a squeak. Like, I feel like sometimes a guitar can be squeaked in a specific way that I've maybe heard in the background of songs. Maybe I need to listen to one or two of these, or actually, let me just throw them all into Google, because maybe if it's something like that, maybe they're all on some list of songs that have a certain kind of squeak in the background. Nothing immediately seems to be coming up. Ah, orange is mentioned at the end of the song It's Going Down. Do all of these songs use orange somewhere? Ah, I think all of these songs probably mention orange in them. Yeah, orange. To be real orange, she uses tangerines. Confirmed that all 7 of these songs mention the word orange somewhere. The question is, what do we do with that now that we've identified that that's the thing they have in common? This was clued from the flavor text, door hinge being a common rhyme for orange. See, I would have expected these to each maybe try to rhyme something with orange in their song, or maybe the use of the word orange breaks the rhyme and they just have another, word that doesn't rhyme with it nearby. But most of these just seem to be mentioned in songs that don't really have a definite rhyme scheme. Maybe I wasn't wrong. Maybe I'm just having more trouble seeing the rhymes than I thought. I was just looking at this one. Alligators, alligators, all covered in orange. Biting my fingernails while you dream of New Orleans. That kind of sounds like it rhymes with orange, and it fits pretty nicely in these blanks over here. So maybe I'm supposed to be finding whatever word they rhyme with orange. That still doesn't explain what this column is. So if this is New Orleans, then letters 1 and 6 are W's, which I like because that's a not very common letter. Probably not one that they would have been able to use anywhere else, which explains why it had to be used twice. And that means number 12 is an A. I think in this song, they rhyme store with orange, because they have share, hair, hair, changing nothing, and then store and orange. So I think I'm going to go with store. So 5 would be an S, and 16 would be a T. So far, these are just matching up across the rows as well. Let me go down to this very last one, because this looks like a longer answer. So what's the rhyming scheme for this? Slack combat, promote gunsmoke, Charmin, orange? I don't know how that rhymes, but I think that's it. It's got to be this Charmin, right? That makes 11 an H, that makes 3 an A, and 14 is an I. See, this is the one that I don't see a direct rhyming scheme. Like, sometimes there's 2 rhymes in the same line, like she lived in Westco and studied frescoes. I think it's just college. I feel like college is supposed to rhyme with orange, and then Visar and her. Okay, let me go to bowling for soup. We need a 5-letter rhyme for orange. It looks like it's supposed to be 40. So maybe it's not always a rhyme. Maybe that's the point. Maybe it doesn't perfectly rhyme, but like other stuff near it does. So like dad and have kind of rhyme, orange and 40 just don't. That's probably what the flavor text means by they sound great if you ignore the orange. O is 15 and T is 9. Collared, orange, together, porch. How many letters do we need here? 5. I think it's supposed to be porch. We are looking for a 5-letter word again. Page, grace, orange, court. Apparently it's court. C there and a T here, and that seems to spell what sweet chariot. Isn't it swing low, sweet chariot? Let's try swing low is our answer. Swing low is correct. I have no idea what column D was supposed to be. Like, was this supposed to be some sort of added confirmation of, what, the song title? Or I was wondering if it was maybe, like, this was an indication of how many lines there are per verse, and then this tells you which line orange appears in or something. This is only 1/4? Well, the artist here is Beck, so that could be the 4. Does that match with the other ones? Yeah, bowling for soup is 14 letters. Oh. So are these first letters always an index into the artist? Was this giving us another message about orange, maybe? Yeah, the flaming lips is 14 letters. If we take the 4th, 8th, and 9th letters of that, we get F, I, and N. Vampire Weekend is also 14 letters. The 14th letter is a D. I, M, and P. O, S, S, I. Find impossible rhyme. Okay, so that's what column D was supposed to be. We were indexing into the artists' names to get how we were supposed to get this column. I just kind of guessed it from the phrase squeaky door hinge cluing orange, and then noticing that orange was in all of the songs. I like that there's another step kind of cluing that more explicitly if this was not quite explicit enough for other solvers. I do think that the way the index is noted here is a little strange. To me, it was harder to figure out that these numbers were the length of the artist than it was to notice that orange was in all the songs. But that's just my experience. Maybe other people went through this in a very different way and figured this column out a lot quicker. Either way, I really do like the puzzle. I like that we're drawing attention to people who tried to rhyme things with orange and how they had varying degrees of success. I think New Orleans is actually pretty close to orange, depending on how you kind of enunciate the syllables there. Yeah, definitely pretty good. We unlocked 2 more rooms from that, Exploring the Cosmos as well as Lofty. Let me know down in the comments if you're enjoying this puzzle hunt. I'm really having a great time with it. Until then, I hope that everybody has a great day, and as always, happy escaping. Bye!